Welcome, gorgeous beings. This is me with my hair out, so this is why I wear it up all the time. It's very light and dry and fly away, and it's semi-dried. It's not dirty or anything like that. It's just a bit wild, my hair. That's why I wear it up in that kind of severe style that a lot of people, especially my family, detest. So I apologise for the harsh look, but sometimes I just can't deal. And it's so hot and sweaty here at the moment, so if I wasn't sitting in the air conditioning, it would have to be up in that, ballet girl style, which is a bit harsh for us more mature ladies. Okay, let's going, guys. Let's get going. We've got lesson 23 today. Welcome to Shelter in the Storm with A Course in Miracles lesson 23. And don't forget, guys, if it's a little bit, it's a bit involved, just write it down, like with lesson 22 yesterday. There's no shame in that. Gosh, I've done these lessons over and over, and I still can't just remember them off the tip of my, tongue. I do ask Spirit to guide me, though, and I love just sitting there quietly and letting that drop in. And usually they remind me pretty quickly what the lesson for the day is, so then I can practice it then if I'm away from home, away from my book. Alright, we're just going to reread a small bit from yesterday's text, part 4 of chapter 2, Healing as Release from Fear, just so that we know where we're at. Okay. The body, if properly understood, shares the invulnerability of the atonement to two-edged application. This is not because the body is a miracle, but because it is not inherently open to misinterpretation. The body is merely part of your experience in the physical world. Its abilities can be, and frequently are, over-evaluated. However, it is almost impossible to deny its existence in this world. Those who do so are engaging in a particularly unworthy form of denial. The term unworthy here implies only that it is not necessary to protect the mind by denying the unmindful. If one denies this unfortunate aspect of the mind's power, one is also denying the power itself. Makes sense. All material means that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatements of magic principles. This is the first step in believing that the body makes its own illness. It is a second misstep to attempt to heal it through non-creative agents. It does not follow, however, that the use of such agents for corrective purposes is evil. Sometimes the illness has a sufficiently strong hold over the mind to render a person temporarily inaccessible to the atonement. In this case, it may be wise to utilize a compromise approach to mind and body, in which something from the outside is temporarily given healing belief. This is because the last thing that can help the non-right-minded or the sick is an increase in fear. They are already in a fear-weakened state. If they are prematurely exposed to a miracle, they may be precipitated into panic. This is likely to occur when upside-down perception has indeed the belief that miracles are frightening. The value of the atonement does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed. In fact, it is used truly. If it is used truly, it will inevitably be expressed in whatever way is most helpful to the receiver. This means that a miracle, to attain its full efficacy, must be expressed in a language that the recipient can understand without fear. this does not necessarily mean that this is the highest level of communication of which he is capable. It does mean, however, that it is the highest level of communication of which he is capable now. The whole aim of the miracle is to raise the level of communication, not to lower it by increasing fear. Very, very interesting. Wouldn't you say? All right, let's go to lesson 23, guys. Lesson 23. Here we go. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. The idea for today contains the only way out of fear that will ever succeed. Nothing else will work. Everything else is meaningless. But this way cannot fail. Every thought you have makes up some segment of the world you see. It is with your thoughts, then, that we must work. If your perception of the world is to be changed. If the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts which you do not want. There is no point in lamenting the world. There is no point in trying to change the world. It is incapable of change because it is merely an effect. But there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts. But there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. Here you are, changing the cause. The effect will change automatically. The world you see is a vengeful world, and everything in it is a symbol of vengeance. Each of your perceptions of external reality is a pictorial representation of your own attacked thoughts. One can well ask if this can be called seeing. One can well ask if this can be called seeing. Is not fantasy a better word for such a process, and hallucination a more appropriate term for the result? You see the world that you have made, but you do not see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. This is what salvation means. For where is the world you see when its cause is gone? Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images, and so transform them that you will love them, even though they were made of hate, for you will not be making them alone. The idea for today introduces the thought that you are not trapped in the world you see, because its cause can be changed. This change requires, first, that the cause be identified and then let go, so that it can be replaced. The first two steps in this process require your cooperation. The final one does not. Your images have already been replaced. By taking the first two steps, you will see that this is so. Besides using it throughout the day, as the need arises, 5 practice periods are required in applying today's idea. As you look about you, repeat the idea slowly to yourself first, and then close your eyes and devote about a minute to searching your mind for as many attack thoughts as occur to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about Megan. Hold each attack thought in mind as you say this, and then dismiss that thought and go on to the next. In the practice periods, be sure to include both your thoughts of attacking and of being attacked. Their effects are exactly the same because they are exactly the same. You do not recognize this as yet, and you are asked at this time only to treat them the same in today's practice period. Let me read that part again. You do not recognize them as yet, and you are asked at this time only to treat them as the same in today's practice periods. We are still at the stage of identifying the cause of the world you see. And when you finally learn that the thoughts of attack and of being attacked are not different, you will be ready to let the cause go. Okay, so that's lesson 23 for us to practice on our own. And once we've done the first practice session for a minute, searching our mind, let's move to Jesus' commentary for lesson 23. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. Another interesting illustration by Renee Phillips. You are blessed beings, indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. It is with great joy that we hear the laughter this being brings to this lesson. We ask you not to criticize her for that little bit of fun. It was just a moment of joy that slipped through the serious demeanor of these lessons. And Tina was laughing in a video. That's what that's about at that time. That will come to you, dear ones, from changing your mind about the world and how you contribute to the chaos and unloving nature of this place in which you find yourselves. You have been deeply manipulated, further and further into attack, and we want to address this here. Pure non-dualism will say that what happens in the world does not affect you. You are the effector. Some very clever beings in your society understand these principles. They are well educated in spiritual creation. They understand exactly what we teach here, and they have made sure that in your school curriculum, education and religions, that you do not get taught this. They use that information in their mass media programming systems, the programming of violence and attack in your entertainments, because it teaches you how to attack more, be more violent, be more aggressive, so that you continue to miscreate along the lines of fear and war. This gives you very little power, but to those beings who understand these principles, this gives a great deal of power. We are not here to attack anybody else, but we want you to be truthful. But we want you to be truthful that watching violence in sports, on your murder mystery shows, or the war in blockbuster movies invites attack thoughts into your mind that will be used in your creative process. You must understand that there are no idle entertainments when violence is involved. As part of this lesson, you must understand how that indoctrination works. Please, step away from watching violence. It is counter to this particular lesson. It is one of the most difficult addictions for you in your society. Your lives have become boring because of the work, urbanization of your societies, and your indoctrination into doing jobs for money. It is often only in your entertainment that you experience feelings. This is part of the process that we want you to incorporate into this lesson today. We want you to just observe where you enjoy watching violence. Perhaps it is a good takedown in a football game, the hero killing the enemies in your blockbuster movies, or a seemingly quaint British murder movie. We ask you to just observe where you use that form of entertainment today without judgment, self-loathing, or hatred. Just observe. The first forgiveness practice in anything you see yourself doing is just to say, "Ah, there I am doing that thing. How interesting." Do not attack yourself. This does not solve the problem. Observe and ask, is there another way for me? Is there something else I could do instead of this? I am that one you know as Jesus, and we love you very much on this side. We bring forth as much support as we can, not only verbally in this form, but energetically as well. Do call on me as you do your practice each day, before you go to sleep at night, and when you wake up in the morning. Just ask me to be with you and guide you through your learning process. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. Namaste, blessed beings.